Takeaway Chinese, where you can take some Chinese away and experience progress day by day. Takeaway Chinese, we will promise you a difference.
你好，欢迎收听随行汉语 Welcome to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Honglin and with me, Steve Hatherley. Hello, Steve.
Hello, good afternoon. Great to see you again.
Great to have you in the show. If you're interested in Chinese culture and you want to get a grip on the Chinese language, then this is the show for you. Stick with us for 30 minutes and you soon see the rewards. And for more fun Chinese learning, follow our Facebook page, Learn Chinese, to watch many fun videos and live streams. But now, let's provide you with some free Chinese for takeaway. This period of time, we're celebrating the United Nations Chinese Language Day.
Oh, cool.
Yes, it falls on April 20th, and this day was established by the United Nations Department of Public Information in 2010 to celebrate multilingualism and cultural diversity, as well as to promote the equal use of all 6 official working languages of UN. So Chinese language celebrated worldly, and that is why we are having specially made shows. We're asking people why they're learning Chinese and what are their first words. And we're receiving some really fun answers.
Oh, that's really cool. I can answer that question. My first word in Chinese was, well, outside of like ni hao, but even people who don't speak Chinese know what ni hao is, like knowing how to say hello in multiple languages. My first Chinese word was bing.
Bing.
Yes. Ice. Because,
I remember that.
Because my wife and I arrived in China, in Beijing, in the middle of June. And we spent about the first month or so just kind of traveling around a little bit and walking around, enjoying different foods at different restaurants. And it was hot. I can tell you that in the middle of summer here in Beijing, it gets to be
scorching hot.
Mid to upper 30s.
Yes.
Celsius. And I was constantly searching for ice. Because it was so hot outside. So I remember outside of the hello and things like that, the first word that I learned was bing.
Bing. And you have to say 可以加冰吗? Can you add ice? But not 你有冰吗? Do you have ice?
Yes.
Because of the tone thing, you do not want to insult people.
Right. You told me, what did you teach me? That if you say it like that, 可以加冰吗?
Can you add some ice?
But not the other way.
The other way would be, do you have ice?
Which can be misinterpreted as,
are you sick?
Are you sick? And which is a very easy mistake to make because of the tones, right?
Yes, because bing, first tone, and bing is fourth tone, and bing is sickness. So is it okay? Are you suffering from any kind of illness?
Basically,
would be a kind understanding already.
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
don't
right.
say that.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
Please don't say that.
Yeah, that was the first word that I remember learning.
Yeah, and we have collected many interesting answers from our friends. Some said, like Steve has mentioned, 你好, definitely, that can be a first word for a lot of people. And another answer, actually, this is also a very good answer. When I am learning a different language, or when I'm not even learning a different language, I just want to know how to say that in many different languages. That'll be 我爱你, I love you.
我爱你.
I know how to say that in Korean. 사랑해.
사랑해.
See, it's a powerful thing. You want to express you're nice to others.
Yeah.
You're kind. You want to show that you are from a good purpose.
Yeah, and when it's obvious that you don't really speak the language and you use those words, then you can get away with it, right?
Yeah.
But if you're a native speaker,
then it's a bit weird.
they wonder, like, what's your intention here?
Yes.
Yeah.
But that would be 我爱你, in case you don't know.
我爱你.
Yes, so it's literally 我爱, I love 你, you. I love you.
我爱你.
Yes, that is the answer Julie shared. And also we have Omnia saying 谢谢, that's thank you. 对不起, I'm sorry.
Yes.
请问, please, may I ask? 你叫什么名字? What is your name? Very practical answer.
Yeah, exactly. And 不客气 is useful too.
Yes, yes, that means don't mention it.
Yep. Means no problem at all.
No problem at all. And of course, 你身体好吗? It's in my textbook. That is from, right? It's a funny answer. 你身体好吗? How are you these days?
Yeah.
Physically, are you in good health condition? It's, again, very kind, a little bit too detailed.
I love this one from Morning to Ziri. First Chinese word learned, 西瓜. Watermelon.
Watermelon, yes.
But you don't know why, right?
You don't know why.
You don't know why it is the first word. I remember the first word that I remember learning in Korean was kamagwi, which means crow.
Why?
Exactly. Why? And what I spent over 20 years in Korea, I never once got to use that word in a sentence to anyone. You know why? Because people don't talk about crows in daily conversation. That's why. That's funny. 西瓜, watermelon.
Watermelon, yes. And also there are other lovely answers. 米饭, meaning rice.
Useful.
And you know what? It's even something, I think when I was in college, I started to know this. That is, in the northern part of the country, it's common for us to just say 米.
Oh, really?
Rice. 你吃米吗? Would you have rice? And if we say 你吃米饭吗? That also works. So 饭 is like food. So the rice.
So it's a little bit redundant. The mi and the fan can be a little redundant.
No, it's okay because Chinese people like two-syllable words. So it's definitely perfectly okay. And the funny part is that when we say 饭, we are thinking about meal. So meal, it can be staple food even. So 你吃饭吗? So it's kind of like saying besides the vegetable and the meat, do you also want some staple food? And that staple food can be rice, can be noodles. And in general, if you're asking someone 你吃饭吗? You're asking whether or not they're going to have meal. So it's kind of like everything. Are you having meal? Yet, for people living in the southern part of the country, to start with, 米, rice, in their understanding means the raw rice, the uncooked rice.
Okay, yes.
And 饭, instead of meaning meal in general, means the cooked rice. So when they say 我今天要吃饭, they're actually saying today I'm choosing rice over noodle. So I didn't know that. I don't even know whether or not it can be as easy as northern versus southern, or it's just a different provinces kind of thing. But that moment taught me how complicated and fun a language can be, especially for a country this big.
Even within the same language.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a fun thing. So I'm glad you learned 米饭.
Then we asked the question, your short and long-term goals for learning Chinese. And I thought this was a really, really good question to ask because it totally depends on the person, right? You can want to learn it for fun so that you can pick out some words from watching dramas. We heard in a previous episode of Takeaway Chinese that a few people like watching Chinese dramas and like to learn that way. Or it could be for professional purposes. It could be for relationship purposes.
Sure.
You never know. I remember, gosh, it's one of my favorite stories. I used to teach English for a few years. And one of my students was a 90-year-old Korean man.
Wow.
In a classroom with adults, like 20-somethings. And everybody kind of looked at him like, what are you doing here? Right? And so, I mean, even the Korean students were looking at him like,
Sure.
what are you lost? And I asked him, what's your motivation for being here? And his granddaughter had married someone from the United States, I think.
Wow.
And they had a baby. And he wanted to be able to speak to his grandchild. So he was taking an English class.
That's very sweet, but no offense. The baby should be able to speak Korean as well.
Yeah, of course. But what a lovely answer.
Lovely.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. He did pretty well. He studied pretty hard, I remember. I'll never forget him.
That's a very beautiful story.
Yeah.
And I think similar stories are happening all around the world, no matter what language we're talking about. And since last time we aired an episode of learning Chinese, reasons to do that. And we've received more answers about the question, why do you want to learn Chinese? And there are some very lovely ones. We see Giovanni Luca saying, to impress my Chinese doctor in the hospital. That is such a funny answer.
Sounds like you're pretty unhealthy, Giovanni, if you're having to go back there that often.
Or I think it's just because Giovanni's very funny.
Yeah, I think so.
Sharing that.
Let's see, what else? Wura, this is an honest answer. I don't know why. I'm just interested to learn it. And I'm attending an online class. Yeah, that's kind of like the way that you're studying French these days.
Yeah, just for fun.
Just for fun.
Yeah,
why not?
And we have, Chris Terrace saying exactly because why not?
Yeah, right. I like Pavel's answer as well. Pavel Radzisuski. I want to do something, or I would like to do something that seems impossible.
Challenging yourself.
Mission impossible, huh?
Yeah.
Learning Chinese.
It's not impossible. You can definitely do it well.
To speak, you know what I'm starting to understand? Maybe I'm wrong, but from my perspective, some languages are easy to read and difficult to speak. Others are difficult to speak, but easy to read. And my impression of Mandarin is speaking the language doesn't seem that difficult, but reading it might take years and years and years and years.
Especially if it's Chinese.
Yeah. But the speaking part, once you start to learn the little kind of ins and outs of the language, that it just starts to make sense and it starts to click a little bit. I think what I'm trying to say is, it's not as bad as it, or it's not as hard as people might think it is, meaning it's not impossible. Yeah.
Yes. And talking about long-term and short-term goals, actually, we have a friend saying, because one day I will be in China. It's a mind over matter kind of manifestation, but I like that. And I think if you really believe in that, you would definitely one day be in China.
Very cool.
I guess by that time, you'll be able to speak Chinese.
Which will really help you when you get here, for sure.
Yes.
Ivan says, what are my short-term and long-term goals of learning Chinese? Short-term goal, speak simple daily Chinese conversations and
Makes sense.
and such. Long-term goal, I want to learn to write Chinese calligraphy.
Wow, that is a good goal. And again, that is not impossible. Actually, one of our previous hosts, Carl Benjaminson, also my really good friend, he is one of a kind because most people, when they learn Chinese, they speak Chinese before they started to learn writing and reading. But he loves calligraphy, so he writes and reads better than he speaks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He did it the other way around.
Yeah, but I think his calligraphy, some different fonts and different types are better than mine.
Yeah, and it just shows you that everybody's different, right? Just
Yes.
wherever your interest lies, study that way.
Yes,
Yeah.
and please continue to send us your answers towards these questions. What are your favorite words? What are your first words? Why would you start learning Chinese? What is your long-term and short-term goals? And in our Chinese learning community, you would find friends with similar goals, and you can, start a little pack, supervising each other's learning process,
Right.
and it will help you.
Helping each other out, too.
Exactly, helping you doing a better job. You're listening to Takeaway Chinese with myself, Niu Honglin Steve. We would love to hear from you. Send us your thoughts via email to learnchinese@cri.com.cn. Coming up next, we know you love the Chinese language, but do you know the Chinese language is also constantly evolving? Now, let's share with you some fun words that are only getting more and more popular in these couple of years or just decades. And these words are really fun. And if you know some of them, you would have a much better time talking to, especially the younger generation here in China. Don't go away, so you will take some fun and trendy Chinese away. Welcome back to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Honglin with Steve here in the studio. So Steve, do you still remember some of the trendy and fun, almost online slangs that we shared in the previous episode?
内向.
内向, that is a traditional way of saying it.
So the 内向 means introverted.
Yes.
And 外向 means extroverted. But I remember that you taught me that you can just say I and E.
Yes, I 人 or 一人. So I person or 一 person.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
I Zhen or E Zhen. So for introverts and extroverts.
Yes, that's a good one. And also you can say 社恐, so I'm afraid of socializing.
Oh, that was the social anxiety disorder person.
Yes.
Which, by the way, did not truly mean a social anxiety disorder.
This is actually kind of a phenomenon in the Chinese language as well. That is, we use this exaggerating way of describing our personality. We use disorder or syndrome character a lot. That is the 症. So 社恐, 社交恐惧症. So 社交 is socializing. 恐惧 is afraid of, so anxiety. And 症 here is the character for syndrome. So a kind of disease. The reason I'm saying this is because I suddenly realized that we also say, for example, 尴尬症.
尴尬症.
Yes, 尴尬means awkward. And 尴尬症 is like, I am super awkward right now, and I feel like it's a disease, it's a syndrome, it's hurting me, it's harming me, and 尴尬症. And when it is a syndrome, you can have episodes of the syndrome. So when it's awkward, you're not awkward all the time. It's just in certain occasions you feel like it's really awkward. And the Chinese expression can be 我尴尬症犯了. So I'm having an episode of my 尴尬, my awkward syndrome.
我尴尬症
犯了.
犯了.
犯 meaning it's happening. The episode is here.
我尴尬症犯了.
Yes. And some people would even feel awkward when somebody else in the room did something stupid.
I'm thinking that the English equivalent might be cringe.
Cringe. Yes,
Cringe.
definitely.
Something is cringe, or he's so cringe. Like that kind of thing?
Yes.
So can we describe a person as 尴尬症?
No.
It has to be something that someone said or did.
It has
and your
to be,
response to
exactly,
it.
it's your response
so,
to
yeah,
it.
it's not what they did, it's how you feel about what they did.
Exactly. And also, for example, decidophobia. I think it's the same in English. It's the same in Chinese. We say 选择恐惧症, afraid of making choice kind of syndrome. So again, in the Chinese language, the 症 or the syndrome kind of way to structure a phrase to describe a certain emotion or a feeling is quite common. Still, that being said, please do not freely create any kind of syndrome in the Chinese language. Always stick to those that you have heard native speakers use.
So this expression, 我尴尬症犯了, is this insulting if you say it?
No.
No,
it's fine. It's just describing your true feeling.
Okay, so if somebody makes a joke that's not funny or...
Then it's insulting because it's like...
Okay.
It's kinda, right?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
Okay, so this expression is used to describe your true feeling.
Yeah.
If you really want to share your true feeling, which is your joke is just not funny at all, it is fine.
Okay.
As long as you're really good friends with these people.
Right. But it's still something that you might say when the person finally leaves the room or something.
You can say that, it's really awkward. Okay. It's equal to, it's really awkward.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's a good, thank you. That was a good tip. I'm really glad I asked that question. 我尴尬症犯了.
我尴尬症犯了. This is so awkward.
Yeah, don't say it to the person. They might feel a little bad.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Got it.
And also, for example, on textbooks, we see 喜欢, that's like.
Oh, can I ask a question before we go to the next one?
Sure.
So in English, we can play with our voices a little bit, right? To emphasize. So instead of just saying awkward, we can say awkward, like that. Can you play with your voice like that in Chinese? Like, would anyone ever say 我尴尬症犯了? Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, and I'm trying to think about it. I think it's overly dramatic, but if you do that and you are in your daily life a dramatic person, it is considered fine.
Got it.
I guess.
Got it. I was just curious. I'll never use that. I was just wondering.
Yes.
Yeah.
And moving on to our next pair of words. textbook versus online slang. 喜欢 and 讨厌 being like and dislike.
喜欢 is like and 讨厌 is dislike.
Yes, and this
Dislike or even hate. Right?
Yes. And this pair of words, again, are perfectly fine in daily language. So if you say, 你喜欢这个吗? Do you like this one? 我不喜欢这个. I don't like this one. 我喜欢吃甜食. I like to eat sweets.
Or 我喜欢你.
我喜欢你. I like you.
I like you.
Yeah, these are perfectly fine.
Or 我讨厌你.
Yeah, I hate you.
I hate you.
Yes.
Be careful with that one.
That's true. But now people are using another way of describing it. And again, I think a lot of the internet slangs or trendy expressions we've shared on Takeaway Chinese, this direction of changing or language evolving is towards the more vivid kind of expressions. Remember 浓人 and 淡人, the thick kind of people or the light kind of people. This pair is closer to that because here, when you want to say I really like something, you can use the expression 上头.
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 头 is your head and 上 is getting up to or up. So 上头 actually means this feeling is
about to burst out. It's to the top.
It's to the top.
Overwhelmed.
It's getting into my brain and I cannot get it out. And
in a good way? Or?
In a good way. In a good way. In a good way.
上头. Okay, so when 上头. When can we use this?
You can use it for almost anything. When you really, really like it, you're addicted to it, you're obsessed with it. You can say 这本小说很上头. This novel, this book is really nice and just I cannot get it out of my head.
Yeah, right. So there's no one direct English translation because you can say it a few different ways, right? Like I'm obsessed with this book. I can't get this book out of my head.
Yes.
I can't put this book down.
Exactly.
Those would be 3 examples.
And also this word 上头 is used to describe something that you really like. So it's describe the thing instead of you.
Yeah.
So when we say 喜欢, you can say 我喜欢, I like this. But when you say 上头, it's like this is really 上头 for me.
So this can be a book or a TV show. This can be food?
It can be food.
Okay.
It can even be people.
Have you tried... I didn't even know this fruit existed until yesterday. Mini mangoes.
Oh, yes.
I don't know if they're called mini mangoes or not, but that's what they are. 我上头.
No, you cannot
mini
say
mangoes.
No, you cannot say 你上头. You have to say mini mangoes. 让你上头. It makes you feel.
让你上头.
Yes, it makes me feel. Or the mini mango 太上头了. It's really coming to your head.
So you never say 我上头.
Or
you say the thing 上头.
Yes, you have to say this thing make you 上头 or you feel 上头 about the thing. So it's always centering the thing.
Mini mango 上头.
Yes, 很上头.
Have you tried them?
Yes, I
like them. Oh my God, they're amazing. I didn't even know they existed. I've never seen a mini mango before.
Actually, a lot of different types of mango are also, you can find here in the Chinese market, can also be very good.
Yes, I quickly jumped on the internet after this discovery last night and learned that there are many different varieties. And let me say to our listeners who have never been to China before, never been to Beijing before, some of the fruit you can get here that are just kind of everywhere would be considered kind of exotic fruit in the West, not easy to find. You might find it at an upscale supermarket or something like that. So there's always something new that you see in the mart and you feel like, what's that? And I didn't know they were mini mangoes. I didn't know until I bit into it at home and I was blown away. Oh my God, they're so good.
Yes.
Mini mango 上头.
很上头.
很上头. What's 很?
Yes. 很, very. Remember, instead of is, you want to say very. And
上头.
很上头. It's really addictive. And the opposite word of 上头 would be actually easy to guess. 下头.
下头.
下 means down.
Yeah.
头 is head. So this is also a very interesting word because 下头, you can kind of understand it as something that would trigger your dislike reflection You don't like that. But it's really commonly used for the kind of situation where you have a neutral feeling about something, or you have a neutral feeling or even positive feeling about someone, and all of a sudden, something they did make you, it's totally a turnoff.
Oh, the ick.
The ick.
The ick.
The ick. And that ick moment can be described as, 太下头了. This action is ick.
下头.
下头. It's like my feelings towards you is already up there to my head. And this thing you did, this ick moment, makes the feeling goes away so quickly.
So maybe that person you're feeling towards that person could be 上头, and then all of a sudden they say something or do something, and then it changes to 下头.
Yes. And thinking about this pair of words make me realize how vivid and funny language can be, because 上头 and 下头 is definitely more specific than 喜欢 and 讨厌.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yes.
And it's just so much more appropriate. I think it's so much more expressive too.
Yes. And of course, this is one direction of language evolving, that is to make language even more precise, more vivid, almost picture-like. And another direction is, another funny direction would be making the language more subtle and polite. Yet, you don't necessarily like it. For example, 裁员 or 解雇 would be fire in Chinese.
Okay.
裁员, 裁 means to cut.
裁员.
Yuan is a person or personnel. Remember, 服务员. So you're talking about the person providing you services. So a server would be 服务员. And 裁员 means you're cutting the personnel. So if it's a company, you have a lot of employee and you're cutting the number of the employee, you're firing them. So 裁员. 解雇, similar idea. 雇 is 雇佣关系, the relationship of hiring. You're the employer, you have employees, and if you're ending that relationship, you are firing them.
Okay.
So 裁员解雇, perfectly fine, still very much used, actually very official expressions in the Chinese society. Yet now people sometimes would use another word instead, that is 优化.
优化. And this means fired?
This means optimize. So to optimize the structure of the company, I decided to let you go. So 我被, for example, you can say 我被优化了. I was optimized. That means I was fired. It means I am no longer considered a core part of the company, and by letting me go, they're optimizing the company. Subtle, but I find it a little sad.
Yeah, this one you have to read between the lines.
Oh, definitely.
A little bit, right?
Yes.
Because, if you're just listening to the word itself, you might think that means a promotion.
Yes, optimize.
They optimized my skills.
Yes, and we constantly see new ways of saying things. Previously, for example, if you do not throw a temper in the public, if you stay calm, people would say 他脾气好, he has good temper, or maybe say 他很窝囊. So this person he does not know how to fight for himself. It's considered negative. So positive ways and negative ways to describe this kind of personality.
Okay.
Now people say 情绪稳定.
情绪稳定.
So this person has emotional stability.
Oh.
See, different ways of saying things. Some are more vivid. Some are considered subtle. Some are just finding some fancy ways of saying stuff.
What's emotionally unstable?
情绪不稳定.
情绪不稳定.
Yes.
你情绪不稳定吗?
你情绪 Usually you would ask 你情绪稳定吗? But
that means, are you emotionally unstable?
Yes, I get a little bit of sarcasm there.
Yeah, so if you're having maybe an argument with your partner or something, then, I don't know, can you use this if you're fighting?
If you're fighting, you can say 你情绪稳定一点. Please be a bit more emotionally stable. That's the funny thing about languages. A lot of different slangs, a lot of different trendy expressions.
Yeah.
And if you are in a relatively higher level of that language, you would be able to have fun with these and appreciate them even more.
Yeah, right.
And I'm pretty sure Takeaway Chinese will always be here sharing with you these fun language points. And that brings us to the end of today's show. I'm Niu Honglin with Steve here in the studio. One more time, April the 20th marks the Chinese Language Day. So if you haven't done anything to celebrate the day, maybe you should do something since you're already learning Chinese. I'm pretty sure it will be a good ritual for you. And for more episodes of the show, you can visit our website at radio.cgtn.com and go to the column podcast. You can also listen to the show and read the script there. Find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Just search for Takeaway Chinese. Don't forget to leave your questions, comments, and a 5-star rating. 感谢收听，我们下次再见。
谢谢, thanks so much. See you next time.